Hello, I'm Brad Sherman from California's best named city, Sherman Oaks. I'd like to thank the Organization of Iranian American Communities for putting on this important congressional briefing. I have worked with you for most of my 20 years on the Foreign Affairs Committee. We've talked about the Iran deal, and of course, it's hard. The good part about it is it's not a binding agreement. The sanctions remain in place, and additional sanctions are necessary because there are additional evil actions by the Islamic Republic that need to be countered. I was not shy in differing from the Obama administration, and I will not be shy in criticizing or working with the Trump administration in the years to come. The issue isn't party. The issue is our values. One thing that should be obvious for this administration is to designate the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. The Iranian government is the #1 state sponsor of terror, and the #1 tool of terror is the Revolutionary Guard Corps. That is why I recently introduced with my good friend Judge Poe the H.R. 478, and the title of the bill says it all: to require the imposition of sanctions against Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, period. We ought to pass the bill, but I'm hoping the Trump administration will act before even Congress passes the bill. We have to be very careful about selling planes and financing planes to Iran. I know the image of those planes is happy vacationers flying off safely in new planes. Ask yourself, how does Assad get his weapons? Who delivers the Revolutionary Guard thugs that are killing Syrians by the thousands every week? They're on those happy planes. They shouldn't be our planes carrying those murderers to Damascus. And that is why I joined with Peter Roskam in introducing the bill to require the President to report on the use by the government of Iran of supposedly civilian aircraft, and that is why I have opposed any American financing for planes. That's why in just a couple of months ago, I helped pass the No U.S. Financing for Iran Act, focusing on the Export-Import Bank, because the only thing worse than American banks financing sales of these thug-carrying aircraft would be for the American taxpayer to do the same thing. Now, the Iranian Foreign Ministry sends out its people to smile and create a happy, friendly image of the Islamic Republic. The real picture is not who they employ as diplomats, but what they do. The real picture is that poor Syrian boy on the beach in Turkey. That's the picture that Americans need to understand. Because, yes, it was Assad that drove him from his home, but who's driving Assad? The Islamic Republic, you know that well. Human rights abuses in Iran are not a new phenomenon. We learned how in 1988, Iran executed tens of thousands of political prisoners. And last Congress, I co-sponsored with Chairman Royce and Ranking Member Engel the bill condemning the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran for the 1988 massacres of political prisoners and calling for the justice of the victims of that massacre. Now, it's, I think, obviously a mistake that my government identified the MEK for so long as a terrorist organization. The MEK is working today as a counter-terrorist organization, opposing the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism. Miriam Rajavi is leading an organization that is helping the world expose and deal with the terrorism of the Islamic Republic, starting with the great debt the entire world owes to the MEK for exposing Iran's nuclear weapons program right at the beginning. Today, we must celebrate the fact that those who were in Camp Ashraf, those who were at Camp Liberty, are now safe in Europe. So now we have to work for the return of their property, and if we provide aid to the Iraqi government, we should not be providing aid to thieves. We should be providing aid to a government that returns the property from those who were dispossessed. You know, people think sometimes that human rights and democracy is just an extra thing, that America needs to focus on realpolitik and just focus on which armies are where. But the fact is that America will not be safe from terrorism sponsored in Tehran. The people of Syria and Lebanon and Yemen will not be safe until Iran is free. And that's why I join you behind hashtag Free Iran. You've brought liberty to the people of Camp Liberty. Now let's bring liberty to the people of Iran. Thank you very much.